was able to completely change my life around, from making $0 to making over $1 million a year by trading Forex. During my journey, I found these 5 habits that have really sharpened my edge and allowed me to scale as a trader and a person, and I believe everybody who can follow and adapt these 5 habits will be able to replicate that same level of success. When it comes to trading, there are a million tips out there on how to become profitable and successful, and they're all just simply BS. Just focus on these indicators. Just focus on these certain time frames. Man, shut up. Over my 4 years of trading, I've identified 5 key habits, and in this video, I'll be showing you guys exactly what they are in order to become a successful trader. Now, if you guys stick through this whole video, I promise you that you will hear something that is a new perspective that might not be all sunshines and rainbows, and it might even hurt a little bit, but it is something that if you apply to your life, I can guarantee will generate results for you. The first habit that I want to talk about is patience. Now, I know it's easy for me to say, oh, as a trader, we need to be patient. But the reality is, a lot of us don't understand what patience really is. When we're trading, we have to think of ourselves as a sniper. A sniper never looks around for his targets. He never just tries to find something to shoot immediately. A sniper is always in position, focused on a certain area, so when his target is in his crosshair, he's ready to pull the trigger and hit his shot. Now, this is how we have to approach it in our day-to-day trading. We can't be stepping on the charts thinking, oh, I have to make $10,000 today, or I have to win a trade, so I'm gonna force myself to take a setup. This is completely anti-successful trading. We have to understand that the opportunities are not presented every single day, and that we're only looking to get in when the opportunity is there. There's this quote that I really like by Abraham Lincoln where he says, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening my axe." We can relate this back to trading because if you think about it, if you are trading one full trading session, it doesn't mean that you need to take 17 trades during that session. All you want to do is stay patient, wait on your toes, find that right setup and execute when it is there. And of course, if the setup isn't there, there is nothing that we can do about it. We cannot force the charts to create what we want it to create, no matter how long we look at it. Now, I know it's not that easy for us to just stay there, especially because sometimes when you're being patient, you're gonna avoid a trade that ended up winning. But what I want you guys to understand is this is totally fine. Because at the end of the day, you want to be the guy who avoids 1 winner and also avoids 6 losses at the same time versus the guy who takes that 1 winner and then is going to end up taking 6 other losses because they really just couldn't stay patient. Now, I've been there. I've been that guy who was super antsy, who wanted to take 30 trades a session, but now I've become this trader who trades once or twice a month, and I make more money than I have ever made on the charts. Now, you can't expect to be an overnight success in this industry. Just like Rome, it is going to take a long time. You want to build your empire, and your empire requires you to build it brick by brick, and that is going to take time. So you have to stay patient throughout that journey and trust that process. The second habit that I need you guys to adapt is having a high stress tolerance. Now, this industry is one of the most brutal industries that you can ever encounter. You could be sitting there for hours, for days, for weeks, and not make a single penny. You could actually be losing all of your money. Now, having a higher stress tolerance ensures that while you're on the charts, you're able to stay locked in, because at the end of the day, all we're doing is looking at these rectangles and determining, is price going to move upwards or is price going to move downwards? Now, it's easy for us to create some sort of reality or some sort of prediction that is never going to happen simply because we are stressed or having a bad day, or some external factor has caused us to want to get into the market because we're chasing that winning dopamine. Now, it's okay if you take a loss, but don't start to think, oh, I took a loss, I need to go quit trading, because this ideology is absolutely BS. It's time for us to grow up and be able to accept when we lose, and be able to accept, hey, stuff might not be all pretty and sunshines, but I still have to approach every single day, put on my me suit, my best version of myself, no matter how I'm feeling, and show up ready to execute if I need to execute. Now, for example, myself, when it comes to trading, I've reached this level where I've become some influencer in the space and I have to take care of people. So I have to sacrifice my personal life. I have all these finances and I have a team that I need to provide for. So all of this comes with a level of stress, and I would have never been able to reach this nor progress if I could not handle it. Now, I'm not saying that right off the bat, you need to have the most insane stress tolerance. No, this is something that 6 months ago, I didn't have the same stress tolerance I have today. Because just like how you're building your empire brick by brick, your stress tolerance will increase over time. the more you get on your plate, the more you're going to learn how to handle. And from there, you'll see yourself scaling up even further. Now, I remember the time I lost $64,000 in one trade. The first thing that happened was I lost $20,000 on a trade. At the time, that was my biggest loss. All I wanted to do was chase that money back. I was stressed. I was thinking, oh man, how can I make this money back? What can I do to get this money back? And I let the stress get the best of me. Following that, I took a $44,000 loss because I just forced myself to get into a bad position. Had I known how to handle my stress at that time, I would have been able to avoid losing an extra $44,000 and put my account and myself in a much better position. So we have to be able to understand, we need to take things on the chin and understand our limits. We can't just quit the first time we face adversity. We have to power through and build our stress levels and build our strength through our journey. Now, the third habit that I think is one of the most important things that I even just live by day to day is that you have to think that you're special. Now, I don't mean you go walk around and you're thinking, hey, I make more money than you, or hey, I am better than you, telling people that you are just straight up better than them and that they are not valuable people. What this means is that your thoughts inside of yourself are that you believe you are special and that you can create something huge or accomplish this high level of success truly just because you are a special person. Now, the worst thing is when somebody thinks they're special, they do all of the talking and then they have no actions to back themselves up. I've seen so many people in this industry want to say all these things about themselves, but then really put in no efforts to reach that level. It's like the first year that I went to the FX Summit, which is the biggest Forex trading conference in the world. I won the trading contest that they had, and I remember speaking to the host and saying, hey, one day I'm gonna be on this stage. And it's funny because I was just with him last night and he tells me, he's like, you know how many people at that summit told me one day I'm gonna be on that stage? But the truth is, I actually got to work because I believed that I was a special person. So now I coupled it with special amounts of effort, which is what you have to do. I made sure that every single day I was chasing something bigger and better and always looking to become the best version of myself because I knew that something out there was allowing me to do better. Now, this even ties back to some of these insane account flips that I've done. I've flipped 3K to 100K on so many occasions to the point where I know if I went broke tomorrow, all I would need to do is make that first $3,000, and from there I can replicate the same thing that I've done over and over again to make my way back into the same position that I'm in today. Now, the next habit that I need you guys to enforce is the ability to devalue money. Now, I know you've heard it a million times, oh, money isn't real when you're trading. Trade like a robot. But honestly, we're still humans and it is not that simple. But you guys have to understand that if you're not able to devalue the money, you're going to start creating realities that aren't there and you will always be chasing something that is unattainable. Well, for example, let's say you're funded $100,000 from one of these prop firms. You're up 3% on your trade. You're up $3,000. This might not be a lot to you, or this could be a lot to you. But at the end of the day, what you need to do is focus on the actual skill set that you've just implemented. If you just made 3% in one trade, you have to realize that banks and institutions are only offering you 8 to 15% a year. So if that's something that you're able to accomplish in just one trade, you're already way ahead of the curve and you have the skill set that will allow people to throw money your way. Now, people always approach the charts as, I need to make 5,000, 3,000, 1,000, whatever the number is, in profits today. But this is not the way we have to approach it. We have to realize that all you want to do is at the end of the month and the year, be profitable. I don't care what strategy you use or how much money you can make. All I care about is at the end of the day, profitable or are you not profitable? Because if you are profitable, the difference between you making $1,000 and $10,000 aren't about you becoming a better trader, it's simply about you scaling your capital. And when it comes to actually floating a certain amount of profits, a lot of the times the money gets in our head and we hold the trade simply because we want to make more money, which then makes us ignore all these signs that the market is giving us that it's going to reverse or it's not going to reach that target level, and then we end up losing the trade. So remember guys, it's not the market's job to give us a setup today. It is our job to manage what we have on the table and make sure that we can secure ourselves in a healthy fashion, whether that's a win or a loss. Now guys, the final tip that I have that I think is literally the most important one out of anything I've said today. So please, if there's one thing that you could take away, it's this one. It's to be accountable when you're trading. You will be wrong. Statistically, 99% of traders fail in this industry. And the reason why they fail isn't because trading is hard. It's because in their head, they take zero accountability. They think that if they lost because a high impact news release came out today, that it is the news's fault for being released. What you guys have to realize is the market does not make mistakes. We make mistakes. And the only way to grow from our mistakes is to make sure that we document and journal every single thing and review it. Imagine that you're an athlete and you want to play more minutes, but when it comes to practice, you're not performing well. And when it comes to the game, coach isn't giving you minutes, and then you come on as a sub and you're not doing anything. Then you go to review your footage after the match. You're not studying at all. You're not looking to review any of your mistakes. This is only going to keep you stagnant. So we have to approach the same thing in trading. Every single time that I take a trade, I write down my exact reasons getting into it. And even from all the hedge fund managers, the 8-9 figure traders who I've spoken to, all tell me that they do the same thing, where they journal the reasons they entered, and they always have some sort of documentation around their trades, including the reasons they entered, exit, even down to the timestamps of when they got into. So if these people who are at the highest of levels are doing it, what makes you think that you can escape doing that? Now guys, keep in mind, when it comes to trading, we don't have teammates. We don't have anyone who is going to push us. It's actually the complete opposite. You're gonna hear a million people tell you that you can't do it, that what you're doing is wrong, and you have to be able to tune all of this out. You have to realize that the markets are you against you. It is simply you against your own mind. And if you are not accountable and looking to grow, not only from your losses, but from your wins as well, you will never amount to anything in this space. And guys, I even like making mistakes, because every single time that I make a mistake, I understand that this is an opportunity for me to learn and propel myself further than the position that I am in today. So guys, I really recommend that you watch this video again. Make sure to save this to your watch later and revisit it after a month, after 3 months, after 6 months, or however long it may be. But compare yourself with where you are today and where you are at those timestamps, and see which habits have you actually improved and the actual effects that they've had on your trading and your personal journeys. Maybe there's something that you forgot to do or just simply didn't understand it that first time, and you need to sharpen it. And you can simply only become better by applying all of these habits. So remember guys, I am rooting for you. I want to see you succeed in this industry, and I want to see you reach the best version of yourself. If you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys want to keep up with me even further, I do have a free Telegram and a free Discord where the links will both be in the description. I will see you guys there. Best of luck across your journeys. Take care.